Hey, good morning everyone. Frank Valkyria here. Welcome to the channel. Today let's do a review of Stranger Things Season 3. I loved the other two seasons, so I was really waiting to indulge and binge watch the whole 8 episodes. I wish that there were more, but the good news is, and I want to go into that right away, and spoiler ahead, please, you're warned. And the good news is that when we see the post-credit scene, we already understand that we're gonna get a fourth season, and I think that that's the thing that made me the most happy. And also, let's go into it right away: the death or the appearing death of Jim Hopper, which is one of my favorite characters in this whole show. So I was kind of pissed when I saw that. First of all, let's go back for a second. Let's go back for a second. First of all, they were having a nice arc and interaction between Joyce and him, Jim. You know, they were discovering each other. Their attraction was acknowledged, and they were trying to sort of, get closer to one another. Joyce was still mourning Bob, Sam the Wise, and whatever, so she wasn't super available, but at the same time was opening up to Jim, and I really loved that interaction. So I was really hoping to see more of their romance. But okay, is that? But maybe not, because we see that at the end, where we are in this Russian facility, and those Russian guards are going down and they're picking up a poor whatever guy to feed to the Demigorg. We see that they say, no, leave the American alone, not him, this other guy we will sacrifice. That probably signifies that some reason, in some ways, probably Jim managed to escape either through the upside into the portal, or he was abducted from the remaining Russians, which they were fleeing the scene in the American site where they were drilling the hole with the laser into the upside down. So we don't know, but most likely, hopefully Jim is gonna be alive, because he's one of my favorite characters, and really doesn't make sense why they killed him. That makes sense to create this suspense, of course, like they did with Avengers, Infinity War, and then Endgame. You go throughout one year sort of mourning the characters that you love, and then all of a sudden they bring them back with the storyline, and probably they're doing something like that here. Because we see that in this season, there is so many references, also literal, to movies. Like there is a scene where because we see that in this season there is so many references, also literal, to movies. Like there is a scene where Jim Hopper is wants to shoot the Russian Terminator. The Russian Terminator says, like, you cannot shoot me because, I'm paraphrasing him, you're a cop have rules. And that's a scene lifted straight out of Die Hard.
Yeah, why not? Because you're a policeman. There are rules for policemen.
So you can go see that. And there's plenty of other references, of course, to 80s movies. Like I said, we see Magnum P.I., The Never-Ending Story, Back to the Future, you name it. It's all there. But the things also that I love the most is the set designing. They did such a great job with the set designing, the clothing, the furniture, the room of the kids, the details, the poster, the shopping malls, the brands, everything is perfect. The cars, the effort they put into it is just amazing, and they did an incredible job. And the photography is beautiful. They really upped the game photography wise, so mega thumbs up for that. And another thing, I enjoyed the fact that they sort of split up the party in several stories. We have, the arc of Steve and Dustin and Erica Sinclair, which is the new character, which also brings a lot of comedy and sarcasm to the story. And also, overall, in this season, there is much more comedy between the banter of Jim and Joyce, their interaction and arguing as if they were like a couple already being together for a very long time. So that it's very entertaining, and it gives a little bit more light-heartedness to the whole thing. This is a sort of science fiction horror show, yet they don't spend a lot of time in the dark, literally in the upside down, and the bad guys are just used instrumentally when they are needed. And on that point, probably the least favorite thing of the show for me, it's actually the monster. We have the mind flare. We don't spend much time into the dark like we did in the other season, so that vibe, it's a little bit like less. We spend much more time on the ground. There is much more joviality, color, daylight. Also the 80s vibe through the neon lights, which is very present, and it really brings you back into the vibe of those old 80s movies with all those blues and reds and purple neon light, really recalling that atmosphere. So there is much more sort of like more Goonies type of action and comedy into this season than horror itself. The monster is this creature that uses melted rats and also infects people, and when he needs them, he just melts them and incorporates them in this fleshy, gooey body that looks like a sort of giant, ugly spider that it's not super scary, I have to say. And we have also those references to sort of like Jurassic Park, when the kids are hiding in the shopping mall behind the cars and the beast is sort of making almost a raptor sound walking around. And then we have the arc of Billy, which is a character that in the second season was just a little bit sort of like the pissed, frustrated brother of Max, and here he gets sort of upgraded to the villain of the story because he's infected with the mind flare that has control of him, and he brings more people to the mind flare, infecting them. So, and at the end, he's sort of redeemed when he's sacrificing Hal to the monster, but Hal connects with him and it sort of brings back the best memory he has of his mother, sort of reminding him of a time when he was happy, and receives the connection with the mind flare, and sort of saves Eleven from the monster, sacrificing himself. And also we get rid of a character that probably we didn't know what to do with it anymore. Even though I sort of was starting to like him, I hoped maybe sort of redemption, joining the party would have added something to the story. So, and also the relationship between Jim Hopper and Eleven, it's really beautiful because we see this adoptive father that really is in love for his daughter, really cares, but at the same time he doesn't want to let go. The story where Mike and Eleven, they're together, their boyfriend, they're smooching around all day, sort of puts him in a place of a little bit frustration because makes him realize it's not the most important part of her life, and that also the kid is growing and things are changing, and he doesn't want things to change, as we learn afterwards, after his death, when Joyce gives Eleven the letter of the heart-to-heart conversation where Jim explains all of this, explains his feeling to her, and it's really heartbreaking. And I really hope better bring Jim Hopper back in the 4th season, because otherwise I'm gonna be super fucking pissed. And I cursed right there, but it's necessary. So bring Jim back because I really like that character. And also I'm really curious to see, apart from the convoluted, a little bit Russian cheesiness, Russian, they get the job of the bad guys here, what they're gonna do in the 4th season. Of course, we're gonna see more Russian, but probably we're also gonna see more American government involvement, of course, because probably in the timeline we will be like 86 or 87 before the end of the Cold War. So I wonder, how do they do that if the Russian, they get control of Demigorg or of the Upside Down, and what we get to see there. So we know that Eleven has lost her power at the end. Even after 3 months, we see that she still doesn't have her telekinetic power anymore, but probably she will regain them because she went through such a trauma. She was beaten by that slug, so that probably will take a little bit more time for her to heal, and also that to up the stake at the end of the movie to basically take away the most powerful character out of the picture in order to resolve the whole story. So the stakes are higher a little bit, so we will see how they're going to work in the beginning of the 4th season. Again, I think Jim is alive because the last scene we see of the Russian taking up a prisoner, and next to them there is an American guy. Most likely is Jim that went through the portal of the Upside Down or whatever, and he probably survived. So super excited to see the fourth season. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but perhaps next year. I hope they're already working on it, because this is really a fascinating show. I love all the references of the 80s. I love the acting. I love the character. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to do with season 4. Now we know that 11, she's moving with Joyce and Will. They left a small village, so the party is going to be split in different cities. So I wonder how they're going to handle that. Part of the crew is going to stay in the little tiny village, where it's still a pivotal point because it's a place of access to the Upside Down, and we're going to see where Joyce and Will and 11 end up and how they interact with each other. So really looking forward to this development of the story, and I hope, you know, like, I didn't miss something. Those talks are always a little bit improvised, so I hope you enjoyed them. I'll see you next time. Always spread love. You take care. Bye.